Hello all and welcome to Astro Wheel of Fortune. My name is Vlada and I read tarot. For this reading we have 4 piles, and this reading is going to be on what do you need to give yourself permission for. So we're going to be getting into this. I just have the oracle cards shuffled and we'll be shuffling live on camera in terms of tarot. If you want to pause this video you can do so now to meditate over the cards, and the timestamps are going to be in the description box below. With that, let's get started. So we've got group number 1. Let's see, what is your what do you need to give yourself permission for? Let's get into it. Okay, group 1. We've got watermelon, have fun with your inner child. Courage, I follow the stream not knowing where it will take me, but I no longer feel afraid. We've also got meditate and write a gratitude list. I'm gonna pull some tarot cards for you straight away, I think, because I'm getting an idea here, but I'm not sure. Yeah, okay, it is the inner child. So you need to give yourself permission to connect to your inner child for sure. Through meditation. Also, a good, what I'm getting here is that you could write a gratitude list, but to your inner child. You need to allow yourself to do things, or like allow yourself to have the courage, give yourself permission to have the courage to do things that your inner child would have the courage to do. And act silly or act in a childish or childlike way, inverted commas, if your inner child needs it. So the permission that you need to give yourself is to connect with your inner child. And the way that can happen is through meditation or writing a gratitude list to your inner child. So expressing to your inner child why you're grateful. Why you're grateful to them. What did they get you through? Because there's a reason that you're here now. The reason that you're here now is the inner child and all the past versions of you. So what's coming through here is have the courage to it's not the courage, but have the gratitude for your inner child that it deserves. The child you, the inner child, really deserves a lot of gratitude from you, I feel. Because I feel like your inner child really got you through a lot of things. So giving yourself permission to do more things that your inner child enjoys doing, potentially going on adventures or eating the food that your inner child likes to eat. Like I'm even getting, maybe for some of you this is watermelon, maybe your inner child really liked watermelon. Getting foods that your inner child really used to enjoy, and doesn't mean that it just has to be like, sweets, and which usually it probably is, and maybe you need to give yourself permission to have sweets. Maybe you're somebody who is very, very strict with your diet. Again, obviously health permitting, but maybe there is certain foods that you're kind of like got in your head that they're like for children, or maybe there's a dish or something that you used to really like as a child that you are not allowing yourself to eat for whatever reason. It could even be like prepare a meal that you used to really enjoy as a child. But really the main thing here is give yourself permission to connect to your inner child and to do things that your inner child wants you to do. Okay, what else? We've also, I definitely feel like your inner child feels a little bit hidden. Your inner child wants, it's almost like give permission, not even to yourself, but give your the permission give your inner child permission to come out. You may even want to have like a code with your inner child, and it may be like a certain ritual that you do with your inner child, where it's like it's some sort of subconscious indication that yes, you can come out to play now. If you don't want to be constantly thinking about your inner child and constantly making sure that you're looking after your inner child every single hour of every single day, it could be good to have some sort of meditation or some sort of journaling practice where you invite your inner child in. So for example, let's say if you're in work and you're not particularly, you don't want to be not connected to your inner child, but more so your inner child may not enjoy that part, where you're working or where you're busy. But when you have some time to spare, a meditation practice or some sort of journaling practice could be really, really useful for inviting the inner child in. So maybe there's a good way of ushering your inner child into the physical and to come out and play. If you have some time to do something that the inner child actually wants to do, like what is it, play video games? Is it go outside, play, sports, whatever it is. I'm almost getting, it kind of makes me think of like a little ritual that you do that almost kind of tricks your brain into going, oh, it's inner child time, it's playtime. I feel like you need more playtime in general. You have to give yourself permission. It's almost like you need to be brave to play. You have to be, maybe you have been shamed for playing in the past, and I definitely, experience that as a child when you're like 5 years old or 6 years old and somebody tells you you're not a little kid anymore, you need to like grow up and you need to start acting you'll be an adult soon, you have to start acting. And it's like, no, I'm not going to be an adult soon, I'm literally 6. Like, I'm literally so young. So I feel like maybe some of you have been told, like even at a very early age, it's time to start growing up, it's time to start becoming more serious. And maybe there's a lot of shame around play, imagination, and kind of like games that your inner child used to like. And I feel like there's a need to heal that. Do things that your inner child used to like to do. Did they like to, like, I'm even getting, like, for some reason I'm getting the imagery of Play-Doh. So like maybe get some Play-Doh and start like making things out of Play-Doh or something like that. You can go as young as you want as well. Like you can revert to that energy of whatever age that you want. Just usher the inner child in. I feel like the inner child won't come out without you ushering them out. And the best way that it seems from these self-care cards that I have here to usher them out is through meditation or writing a gratitude list to them. Maybe you're sitting down and saying, dear inner child, I want to thank you for, and you can do bullet points, you can do like a letter format. Thank you for always protecting us from harm. Thank you for dealing with, trauma or difficult scenarios. Thank you for being so joyful. Whatever it is that you feel you really would like to thank your inner child for is going to be really important. So yeah, I'm not even getting it's like you're giving yourself permission. It's like you're giving your inner child permission to come out and play. And the inner child is really waiting. The inner child is there waiting to come out and play. Hanging out with your inner child in meditation as well. I'm getting kind of like meditative, hanging out with your inner child in a meditative state could be really helpful to you as well, which is kind of cool. Is there anything else that they need to give themselves permission to do? Group 1. We've got the Magician in reverse. The Magician in reverse makes me think that you almost feel like the inner child doesn't exist anymore. For some of you, it might be very hard to do inner child work because sometimes it feels like the inner child is gone. But what the guides are coming in and saying here, it's like, no, this inner child is never gone. Your inner child is never gone. It's always there. And ask help from your higher self to connect to the inner child. So some of you, I feel, actually have a better, like an easier time connecting to your higher self than your inner child. Connecting to the more kind of like, I suppose, the archetype of somebody who's a little bit more wise. A lot of the time I see the higher self as somebody who's like basically the version of you that has lived your whole life, and therefore the higher self, to me, this is just my opinion, this is like, you don't have to hold this opinion at all, but how I see the higher self is basically the future you, kind of like on the deathbed, basically. I don't want to be very grim about it, but basically that's what I'm getting. It's kind of like the future you that is on the deathbed and knows everything about your life and knows everything that has happened, and has that kind of like consciousness or awareness of your life and is able to kind of feed it back to you. So I feel like maybe sometimes you have an easier time connecting to the energy that's been through everything that you've been through and will go through, rather than connecting to the inner child, because you feel like you have to be wise, you feel like you have to be grown up, you feel like you have to be, and you are all those things. You are wise and you are very responsible. I can see that here. You take your responsibilities very seriously, and I feel like along the way you were taught that you can't be a responsible, wise person and enjoy childhood childlike energy as well. So I feel like your guides are coming in and being like, you can do both, and we want you to connect to both. So the way that you can actually connect to your inner child a lot of the time is by connecting to your higher self and asking your higher self. You could even do a meditation where you're sitting down, and if it's really hard for you to bring in the inner child, you can ask to talk to the higher self first, and ask the higher self to bring in the inner child and see if that works. If you want to journal and talk to your higher self and say, I would really like you to come and bring the inner child in the next week. Or if you can write a gratitude list to your inner child, and if it doesn't feel like you're really kind of like connecting to it, you can ask your higher self how you can connect to the gratitude list a little bit more. I do feel like a lot of you had emotional situations in your family where you weren't allowed to be a child. I feel like a lot of people in this group had to grow up too quickly, too fast, too quickly. A lot of responsibilities were piled on to you. I feel like you had to take the lead in a lot of things as a child, like things that a child shouldn't have to do. I feel like there was a lot of responsibility put on you, and so now you're kind of stepping into a place where it's safe to get the inner child out to play, and you're resisting it. But you need to have the courage. You basically need to. It's not gonna happen in this kind of safe. It is gonna be safe, but it's not gonna happen in this kind of way of like, okay, now I'm gonna let the inner child out because I feel secure, I feel safe. It will have to come out. The inner child will have to come out through your courage to let it come out. Because I feel like for a lot of you, connecting to your inner child is almost scary or hurtful, because you tend to remember a lot of the bad memories or shame that was imposed on you as a child. And I feel like that's why the gratitude list could actually really help, because it could remind you and help you remember all of the good things that the inner child has done for you, and remember your childhood in a positive way. I'm even getting like, what if you journaled about your inner child, but it was in this kind of manner of remember when we did this, and you were you helped us in this way, or you did this very well. I'm even getting like writing letters to your inner child, praising them in general could be really, really healing for you, group 1. But yeah, giving yourself permission, but more so giving your inner child permission to step out, because I'm getting this giddy, excited energy from your inner child, and you have the potential to be very interconnected with all the sides of you, all versions of you, the higher self, the inner child, your shadow self. You are very good at integrating the lessons that you learn, but right now, I think just in the moment that you're watching this video, you are a little bit resistant to the inner child. Maybe you're a little bit resistant to play. Maybe you've already allowed yourself to play and to give your inner child a little bit of permission, but I'm kind of getting you are meant to go full force and really let them in and really allow them to almost take the lead sometimes. I feel like this inner child wants to take the lead, but not in the way that they were forced to lead in the past. I'm even getting maybe potentially some of you, like maybe you were like an older sibling, and it's like you were expected to basically raise the rest of the siblings, or you were expected to take care of the household in a very unfair way, and the inner child wants to take the lead, and you're still doing that. You're still very responsible. You still always take the lead in these kind of like serious matters. And your inner child kind of wants to come in and say, hey, I'm going to take the lead on fun. I want to come out and take the lead on fun and lead you to fun and to magical kind of experiences. I'm getting that your inner child is craving magic that they didn't get to experience in their childhood. And they're like, we can actually experience that magic now. So let me come out and play with you. So yeah, basically your inner child just wants you to play with them. They whether it's Play-Doh, whether it's video games, whether it's drawing, painting, music, singing, sports, whatever it is, your inner child just really, really wants more time to come out and play, basically. But yeah, that's the reading that I got for you. That's the permission that you have to give yourself, but more so I feel like it's like giving your inner child permission to come out. So I'm going to move on. If you like this video, if you like this reading, do like, subscribe, and comment. I'd love to hear your feedback if you feel like leaving some feedback. And I'm going to move on. I'm going to move on to group number 2. So group number 2, let's see, what's What permission do you have to give yourself? Okay, let's get into it. I forgot what was the name of the video for a second. Okay, so what permission do you have to give yourself, or what do you need to give yourself permission for? We've got gold, attract abundance. We've also got support. You do not have to face everything alone, accept help or support from others, or accept help or support from others. And then we've got soak in a bath. Well, first of all, I'm getting that some of you need to give yourself permission to be a winner. Like, I feel like a lot of you are natural born winners, but you feel like you always have to stifle yourself or kind of like dim yourself because you're like, oh well, I can't be hogging all the attention. Even though you're not hogging all the attention. I'm not getting that at all. And it's kind of interesting to me. It's like I can't be a winner because everyone else needs to have a go as well at being a winner. But if everyone else has to have a go at being a winner, so do you. And it's kind of like you have to give yourself permission to be a winner, to get the gold. I feel like you're always trying to make sure that everyone else is. And again, I'm not saying you have to be like ruthless and step on people's backs to get to the top, but I feel like if you're naturally flowing to the top and you're naturally creating some sort of abundance for yourself, you don't have to constantly turn around and say to yourself, is it fair that I'm getting this abundance? Is it fair? Of course, you have to consider things like privilege. And you'd want to use your privilege to help other people or share the good with people, but you don't have to constantly go, no, 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 I shouldn't have this abundance because others don't have this abundance. It's more so you have to maybe reframe your point of view as, okay, I should have this abundance, but I also should know how to share it. I should also know how to lift up other people, because with the support and the gold, I feel like the more abundance you have, you're the kind of person that the more abundance you have, the more you'll be actually able to push the others to the top. With this, see the way they're pushing this person to the top, I'm almost seeing you as someone, you've gotten to the top already and you're kind of climbing down to help other people push up as well. So your guides are almost saying like it'll be easier for you to get to the top and start helping others to get to the top, rather than constantly looking down or looking back and going, oh, I shouldn't have this abundance, I shouldn't have this abundance. So I feel like you just need to allow yourself, give yourself permission to receive abundance and to be at the top, to be the first, to be the winner. You're allowed to be that. You're not being selfish by winning something or getting ahead somewhere. You're not being selfish. Getting ahead, being successful, those are not selfish things to do. It's what you do after that's important. And I feel like you are such a conscious person. I feel like you're very conscious of any privileges that you have and in what ways you can be lucky. Like even if you weren't very lucky and you're not very privileged in life, you are very aware the ways in which you are. And I feel like you're always very careful to think, I shouldn't be hogging all the spotlight, which is really nice. And I feel like you're a really considerate person, but your guides are coming in and being like, if you get to the abundance spot, if you get to the top, you will be able to help people a lot better than if you just give up your spot. And what if it goes to somebody who doesn't know how to share that abundance, doesn't know how to share that spotlight? So I feel like you have to give yourself permission to share, to share as well, but to gain the abundance first before you share it. It's almost like you're trying to share your abundance without actually getting the abundance. You're kind of like, oh, well, if I ever get to that abundance stage, I will share it, but I shouldn't get there. I shouldn't get there before others get there. But I'm kind of getting like, no matter how much you try to make things fair and share your abundance with other people, there's always going to be someone who's getting to the abundance or the winning stage first, and somebody who's getting there last or second or whatever. And your guides are kind of saying like it's all happening the way that it needs to happen. You just have to worry about how you share your success, how you support other people, how you give voice to other people once you've reached the abundance and the success. Don't worry about, because I feel like a lot of you have a lot of potential to be really, really successful. And it's almost like some subconscious, I don't know if maybe you were always told that you have to share everything, and that like, oh, you know, you better share, or you're selfish, or there's something wrong with you if you go after the things that you want. I feel like you were naturally born go-getters, but something along the way made you believe that to be a go-getter is to be selfish. A lot of you could benefit from actually doing some sort of cleansing, especially if it's like a salt bath or something like that, because there's a lot of energies that I feel a lot of people expect a lot from you as well. It's almost like a lot of the time when you're close to abundance, or you have money, or you have anything, maybe there's family members or people in your circle that are like, okay, well, you have to share it with us, and they're almost kind of like unfair about it. And maybe as a result of that, you often feel like you don't even want abundance, because you know all these people are going to come after you looking for money, looking for, I don't know, clout, whatever it is. Like, I feel like you're always fearing that people are going to come after you because you're successful. And I feel like you need to give yourself permission to be successful. I feel like you have so much potential to be successful, but you're like, but if I'm successful, all these people are going to come after me. But if I'm successful, all these people will expect, will call me greedy, or will call me selfish for getting to that success. And I feel like you're overthinking it. Again, no shade. I am the biggest overthinker in the world, so I would never judge anyone for overthinking things. But you have to let yourself be a winner. Giving yourself permission to be a winner is going to be very important. And I think a lot of these fears, actually, it's almost like these fears are not yours. These fears are other people's. I feel like a lot of people around you live with a lack mentality. Maybe you could use some cleansing baths because of that, because you need to cleanse these people's energy away. You may want to try and find people, more supportive people, like a more supportive inner circle. You may not have the most supportive inner circle, and I don't mean you don't have like anybody who's supportive. You could very well have like 2 or 3 people that are really supportive, but maybe like the neighborhood where you live, or the community where you go, could maybe not be the most supportive, and so it creates like this aura of fear around you. Okay, let's see what else. Yeah, look at that. You're a very generous person. I love that the Six of Pentacles came out. It's just, you naturally are so generous. There's just so much generosity in your heart that even before you get to your riches and you get to your abundance, you are already thinking, oh my God, like I need to share this. I need to share this. I need to make sure that I'm looking after everyone in my life. And it's kind of like you are going to be very successful, group 2, 100%. You're going to be really successful. You're going to have a really good career. I feel like you're on the way to a really good career, and you keep kind of like stopping yourself. You keep stopping yourself and going, oh my God, but how am I going to share this success with other people? You're always worried about sharing your success with other people, which is really lovely and it's beautiful. But maybe you need to consider who deserves the sharing of your success and who doesn't. Yeah, I feel like some of you have really shady people that, like, for lack of a better word, I'm getting like some people might be literal leeches around you. It could be family members. It could be like, a community that you like, a community, not even community, like, I don't know. This almost has this energy of like, like in cults when they basically look for money. And it's like, if you don't pay money towards this, if you don't pay money towards that, you're a bad person. If you don't pay money towards this program, if you don't pump loads of money into this, you're a bad person. You may have some people like that around you, like friends or family, or like a certain community that you're in. I'm not saying that you're in a cult. But there's people trying to... The reason that you are worried about becoming successful and having money and becoming a winner is because you're worried that these people are going to come after you and be like, pay up, bitch. Basically, that's what I'm getting. And I feel like maybe these same people, especially if this is like your family or something like that, these same people maybe instilled this fear in your head that you shouldn't you shouldn't become too successful before sharing all of this success with other people. You should always make sure that you're thinking about everybody else before yourself when you're moving towards success. So just be careful with that. Because I am getting that kind of energy. It's like people can see the potential that you have for success, and they want to get in there, and they want to be like, okay, hey, what's up here? Oh, but make sure that you give me a cut of this pie. Make sure you give me a piece of this cake, like that kind of thing. They're like, oh, well, before you go spending money on yourself that you've earned, you better pay up to us. Because we've always been here for you. Like, I honestly get, like, even if it's just friends or just family, I'm almost getting like a cult vibe. It makes me think of like when cults want you to pay and pump money into their programs or whatever in order to suppress you longer, to abuse you longer. So just be careful that you're not assuming that mentality as your own, because it's not your mentality. It's been imposed on you. I just keep hearing you've been lied to. You've been lied to by these people, and I don't mean that it's more so manipulation. Like, they've lied to you that you owe them something. You may feel like you owe somebody something when you really don't. Just be careful. Yeah, okay. Honestly, I wouldn't worry about this at all. For this group, I feel like you will get out of this cycle. I feel like if those people are still around you, maybe these people aren't even around you anymore, but the mentality and the thought patterns have stayed. But I feel like with time, it's all gonna dissipate, and you're gonna be able to move on. What's great about this, I feel like there's a lesson there with these people, is that you're going to be experienced in these type of people. So you're not somebody who's going to get caught up with that type of... I feel like it's a group of people. It honestly feels like there's a group of people that are just like, you have to pay for me here, and you have to give me this money, and you have to share your success with me, but they don't give anything back, and they just expect. So that's gotten into your head that all people are going to be like that, but I feel like that's something that you need to heal. You need to realize that there will be people that will support you. There will be people that are not going to be expecting loads of money off you, loads of support from you, when you can't even provide that support. Like, I definitely see that a lot of you have potential to be really successful people, but it's like you're keeping yourself from being successful by feeding into these people's mentality. And that's something that needs to be healed. But I don't see you having a problem with healing it. It's just going to take time. And some of you may need to, after you hang out with these people, if you still do, it might be really important to do some cleansing. Cleanse your house, but especially your body. So cleansing and having cleansing baths or something like that. Yeah, that's what I'm getting for you. So give yourself permission to be a winner and to be successful, without expecting that people are going to come after you looking for money. And again, I feel like you're a very generous person. So it's like you would give people whatever you can. You would provide. You would give money. You would be... the kind of person who wants to share your success, share your abundance. But it's like, no matter how much you share, they always want more. And I'm getting like my ears getting really warm. So I wonder if they talk about it, and they talk about how they can get more out of you sometimes. So just be careful with that group too. But that's what you have to give yourself permission for. Just give yourself permission to be a winner, because you deserve it, and you have complete potential for it. Let's get into group 3 now. So we're going towards group 3, and let's see what is the thing that you need to give yourself permission for. So first of all, we've got mauve, enjoy clear hearing. We've also got indigo. Oh, I love this. It's like purple energy. Improve your vision. We've also got air, someone who's intellectual, open-minded, and communicative. And we've also got connect with the earth. Give yourself permission to trust your intuition. That's the first thing that came through. We're going to look at other things. Even though this is kind of talking about intellectual and mental energy, for some reason I'm getting... You are very connected to the universe. You're very connected to just nature and life itself. You're just very, very connected. And your guides are kind of saying, hey, give yourself permission to trust your intuition. Maybe the mind thing is here is because you always try to intellectualize your intuition and your gut feeling. You always try to kind of create a logical explanation to your intuition. And I think your guides are coming in and saying, hey, you're allowed to have intuitive feelings and gut feelings without wanting to explain them or without needing to explain them. I almost get that maybe sometimes you feel like you have to explain your intuition to other people. It's like you're a really intuitive person, but you feel that it's not good enough if you can't explain it in plain logical terms. It's almost like if I can't write a very like a formula for my intuition that people can understand logically, then my intuition doesn't count. And I feel like your guides are coming in and saying you don't have to explain your intuition to anybody. Give yourself permission to have intuition that is very strong, to act on your intuition that is very strong, and to consult your intuition that is very strong without needing to explain to others why you're doing it. Because for a lot of you, it's like you're super, super intuitive, but you're also somebody who uses your logic a lot, and so you tend to think that your intuition is not valid until it's logical or it makes logical sense to other people. But in general, I'm getting like you don't have to explain yourself to people. Maybe some of you are making some decisions based on your intuitive gut feeling, and it's like, I have a gut feeling that I need to go here, I need to move here, I need to do this, and it's like your guys are coming in. It's like you might be trying to say to other people, like friends and family, being like, oh, I'm doing this because of this. And they're like, why are you doing this? It doesn't make any logical sense. And you're like, no, 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 my intuition told me this. And maybe even people are kind of making fun of you. And not necessarily, but like people could be making fun of you or kind of saying like, oh my God, you're doing this all based on your intuition. And it's like, yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. If you feel pulled towards something, there's nothing wrong with going towards it. So I feel like your guides are coming in and being like, hey, you don't need, by the way, you don't have to explain anything to anybody. You don't have to explain your intuition to anyone. You don't have to worry about it. Please just keep going the way that you're going. You're very connected. You are very connected, especially like at the time that you're watching this video. I feel like your intuition is at a peak. It's working very, very well. You don't have to worry about it not working. Some of you maybe need confirmation that your intuition is indeed very strong and is giving you very good pointers at the moment. But yeah, you don't have to intellectualize your intuition. You don't have to explain why you're doing certain things. If it makes sense to you, that's all that matters. So you have to give yourself permission to say, that's just my intuition, that's my gut feeling, and I don't need to explain it. I don't need to go into the details. Yeah, you feel like you need to have other people understand your actions. And in reality, even when people sometimes do things because of their logical mind and not their intuition, other people's logical minds don't understand that either, you know, because everyone has different experiences. So really, there's a big message here. It's like, if it is clear to you, if the path is clear to you and you have clarity on something, whether it's intuitive or logical, and it really makes sense to you, and you're like, this makes sense, I don't need to worry about it, this is the thing that made the most sense to me ever, you don't have to make sure that it makes sense to other people, because they're living from a different subjective reality than you are. Yeah. There's almost like a sense of mystery to you, and I think a lot of people don't understand you because of that. And again, I feel like you are very logical, but people get confused. Maybe it's almost like people see you as very logical, but then when you do things because of your intuition, people get really confused. Maybe some of you decided to move from a really kind of like intellectual field into something spiritual. Maybe you're trying to mix spirituality and intellectual field. Like, you know, a lot of psychologists, for example, use tarot and use archetypes and use spirituality in their practice. And maybe you're somebody like that. You're trying to use intellectual things and science and mix it with spirituality. Yeah, again, a lot of people don't understand you. Like the masses don't particularly understand how or why you're doing certain things. And your guides are saying you have to give yourself permission to be misunderstood. That's another thing that I'm getting here. I feel like it's very important that you do not fear being misunderstood by the masses. Because I feel you're a little bit ahead of your time when we've got this card always makes me think of somebody being ahead of their time. And so there are maybe ideas or things that you are trying to implement right now that don't make sense to people, but it's like in 2 or 3 years time people are going to be coming to you going, oh my god, it didn't make sense to me at the time, but it makes total sense now. You were ahead of your time. I can't believe I used to think that the stuff that you were talking about didn't make sense. Like really strongly your intuition is already telling you the direction that the world is going to be going in 2 or 3 years from now. And just even just your life, it doesn't mean the world, like, you know, it could be your own personal choices that you're making that other people don't understand, but you're not meant to be understood. That's what I keep getting this message of, like, you in this lifetime, you're not meant to be understood. You're meant to just follow your own path, and you don't need people to understand you in order to have a good quality of living and to have a good time, and to kind of like achieve everything you're meant to achieve in this life. Being understood by other people is not important as long as you understand yourself. So it's more important to understand yourself than it is to understand other people, or for other people to understand you. Do you understand yourself? Do you understand what, you know, maybe not completely, because like I don't even think I understand myself completely. I don't think anybody does. So it's kind of like, yeah, maybe you don't understand yourself completely, but if you're on a journey where you feel, oh, I'm getting more and more clarity on what I'm doing, kind of I'm getting to know myself very, very well, but I don't, but other people don't understand me. Other people don't know what I mean here. That's not important. It really isn't. Some of you could have really been outcasts, like in school or just like in general communities. You may have been seen as weird or unusual. Some of you potentially could have been bullied in the past for this kind of just beyond your years kind of energy that you have. And I feel like a lot of you learned a lot through, it's kind of like you knowing what's, almost intuitively knowing what's coming in 2 or 3 years has almost felt like hindrance to you rather than progress. But slowly you're coming into a place where you're like, no, I actually really like this skill. I really like that I have these intuitive feelings about what way the world is going, compared to other people. You're really starting to cherish that energy. And your life is meant to be very mysterious. Like, I keep getting this mystery around you. It's like you're meant to be mysterious to other people, but like your life in general is not meant to be planned out. And I know sometimes that's not very, that's not really a great thing to hear for a lot of people, because I know we naturally crave security, but I'm seeing that your guides are kind of coming in and being like, your life is meant to be very mysterious. It's meant to be like a mystery that you have a really inquisitive, curious mind. And so I think you like to problem solve, but you also really enjoy the feeling of intuition, and when intuition just tells you like this is going to happen or this is going to happen. And I think your guides are coming in and being like, you know, the intuitive messages that we sent you, it's almost like we're playing a game with you. We're sending you messages so that you know what's coming in 2 or 3 years and where you need to be in 2 and 3 years. And it's like a puzzle that you're meant to be solving slowly. And I feel like your spirit guides really connect with you when you are connecting with nature, especially because we've got these flowers here, and then I'm seeing like a lot of mushrooms on this card. So maybe even in being around foresty kind of areas and exploring kind of like nature scenery, it's a really good way for you to connect to your spirit guides. But really the main message here is to give yourself permission to listen to your intuition. You don't have to neglect your logical side, and also give yourself permission to be misunderstood by people. It's almost kind of liberating here. It's kind of like I'm giving myself permission to not be easily digestible, to not be easily understood by other people, because that's also okay. Because I don't owe, it's almost like you don't owe it to other people to be easily understood, like understandable. It's like a lot of people might want you to be more open or more, like a lot of people expect people to share things about themselves and details about themselves. A lot of people expect to, it's like we fear what we don't understand. And I think this is the exact energy here. It's like a lot of people have feared you in the past because they didn't understand you. But you're not here to be understood. You're here to be like your own, almost kind of like your own entity. I feel like some of you could really be quite introverted and like to spend a lot of time by yourself. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I'm getting really strong messages like, if you like being alone and it genuinely really nourishes your soul and you really enjoy spending time in your own company, that's beautiful. That's not a bad thing. That's a beautiful thing, because a lot of people can't do that. So don't be beating yourself up over it. So give yourself permission to be this introvert that wants to be alone. And again, it doesn't mean that you'll never have friends or anything. I feel like a lot of you do have friends, but it's just, you know, you're like, my friends are great and I like spending time with my friends. I like spending time with people, but I prefer to be alone. And I need a lot of alone time. I feel like a lot of you do need a lot of alone time because you think a lot. And so the more information you get, you need a lot of time away from screens and a lot of time away from social media. That's another thing that I'm getting. You need like a lot of time away from like movies, any information. It's almost like you need a lot of space where you just stand with nature, observe nature, and you're just by yourself. Maybe some of you, I don't know if some of you may have like sensory overload. I don't know if you experience sensory overload. Maybe that's why you need a lot of time when in quiet, in nature, connecting to nature rather than like a lot of noise. I feel like a lot of you benefit from this kind of like quiet energy where you can kind of remove yourself. A lot of you probably benefit from meditating and doing grounding meditations, because you are, even though you are quite introverted, you are very, like, it's almost like if you were forced to talk, you could talk about so much. And I feel with the right people, you talk, like people that do try to understand you. And I'm not saying nobody will ever understand you. I really feel like there are people that understand you and are intrigued by you. But I do feel like you need to know that the reason that you're not easily digestible or understandable is because there's only a few people that you're meant to kind of, not meant to, but the few people that will understand you will be life-changing almost. Like, I'm getting the few people that will get you and will really be able to get on board with like your ideas and where you're moving forward to. It'll be life-changing for them and for you as well. You are going to find like-minded people. If you're worried about finding like-minded people, you are going to find them. But I feel like right now it's not like, that's not something that you need to worry about. Right now it's all about connecting back and like kind of directing the energy back in rather than out. So yeah, give yourself permission to not be easily digestible, to not be easily understood, and to listen to your intuition without needing to explain it to other people. That's what I got for you, group number 3. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you liked it, do like, subscribe, and comment, especially with your feedback. I'd love to hear feedback on this pile. And I'm going to move on. So we're going to move on to group number 4. So group number 4, let's see. What do you need to give yourself permission for? We've got Azure, protect yourself. Blue, activate your healing powers. We've also got wow, look at all this blue. Winter, a period of soul searching and rest. I can see this already. And we've got 38, nourish your temple. You need to give yourself permission to rest. 100%. You need to give yourself, some of you might be sick or are going through some sort of sickness, or you're maybe recovering from something and you're already gunning to go back to work or to get somewhere, and it's like your guides are like, you need to slow down. This is like, slow down, hold your horses. Like, no, you're not going anywhere. Give yourself permission to slow down, to take a break, to heal. Some of you might be in a job where it's very, very hectic and you're doing a lot. Even if it's not a job, I feel like a lot of you are doing the most right now, whereas you should be in a resting period. And I feel like something here with the nourish your temple, it's really important that your body gets rest. Like your physical body really needs rest. And nourishing your temple, it could even mean also, maybe some of you are always like eating on the go as well. I'm getting this imagery of you like grabbing a snack or something, like eating a banana on your way to work, or like eating something on the go. And your guides are like, we want you to sit down and have a meal. We want you to prep, sit, and have a meal quietly, peacefully, very slowly, mindfully chew every bite. Don't rush. So I feel like a lot of you need to give yourself permission to rest. A lot of you could have been shamed for resting in the past. It's seen as lazy, inverted commas. Again, I was talking to a friend earlier last week, and we were talking about how laziness is actually not really a thing. If we really think about it, usually the reason that people are lazy, again in inverted commas, is because they're either not motivated by the task, because there is a level of maybe the task is very mundane, and so mentally it's hard to prepare yourself. Maybe the task is very hard and the person doesn't want to ask for help because they've been shamed for asking for help. Maybe the person is depressed. Person could have mental health issues, and that's why they can't complete the task, because tasks that have motivation to us, they will always be completed. Maybe the person is physically sick, and again, I'm getting that you are giving yourself almost like this harshness of like, I'm lazy if I don't do this, if I'm not pushing myself to the limits every second of every day. I'm lazy then, I'm gonna be lazy then. And I feel like your guides are coming in and being like, you're not lazy, you legitimately need rest. You legitimately need to step out and give yourself permission to rest. Give yourself permission to heal. Especially if any of you are sick, I'm seeing that you're not ready to move on yet. You really need to continue healing. For example, if you're kind of like, you've been out sick from work and you're like, okay, I'm going to come back tomorrow, or I'm going to come back next week. Your guides are like, you're going to need not a lot more time, but you're going to need more time to heal. You're going to need more time to step away and to rest. It's really, really important. Rest is so important for this group right now. And I feel like your guides are almost warning you here. It's like, if you don't rest, there's something is going to, it's kind of like, if you don't rest, be very careful, because it's almost like if you are not sick, you could get sick. So just be careful. I am getting that your guides are sending you a lot of healing energy, and they're trying to slow you down. And once you do slow down, they are telling you that they're going to heal you, whether it's mental, whether it's physical. They are asking you to slow down and to really process some things. For some of you, maybe this is mental, and you're really, really moving a lot in your head, and your head is really, really rushed. And so you need to step back and really observe what's going on in terms of your thoughts. For some of you, maybe it's therapy is needed. But I do feel like, look at that, we've got protect yourself, activate your healing power again, and then we've got a period of soul searching and rest. It's like rest, slow down, pause, activate your healing power by slowing down, and protect yourself. Some of you really need to protect yourself from energies around you. Like, I don't know if you're working with people that are toxic, or you're in contact every day with people that are toxic. You could need to just protect yourself in terms of like your nutrition. So maybe some of you are not getting a lot of nutrients, and your guides are kind of coming in and being like, please take your time to take some nutrients. Really give permission to yourself to have some rest. But let's pull some tarot for you and see what your guides are wanting to say to you. I'm just astonished at all this kind of like bluey energy, like this blue energy. And usually I would be kind of like, oh, it's throat chakra, but I am getting a really strong kind of like rest, and kind of, because blue is kind of like, especially this deep blue, kind of the dark night sky. Because if you look at this, there's like this starry night, and there's the starry night here. I'm kind of thinking like sleep time. It's time to go to sleep. It's time to have a nap for some of you in general. Like, when was the last time you had a nap? When was the last time you got the full 8 hours of sleep? And as I said that, I looked at this card and it's 3 and 5 and it's 8. Like, that's 8 together. So when was the last time that some of you have slept properly? Maybe some of you need to look at your sleep. And I'm even looking at her hair, and you can see her hair actually has these planets and stars in it. So again, some of you might be working really late, and that's another problem. Some of you might be working till all hours at night, and you're not giving yourself proper rest that your body requires. Okay, what else? Yeah, you're doing the most with the Magician in reverse. Look at that, we've got the 10 of Wands. Like, they're basically saying, if you're going to take on any more responsibility, if you're going to take on any more than you already have on you, the responsibilities are going to kind of like fall. I feel like you're becoming very disoriented with the amount of work that you're doing. You might have to talk to your boss, you might have to talk, or maybe you're the boss and you need to talk to yourself and kind of give yourself permission to rest. Again, I know it's not always easy. I know there are jobs that demand crazy hours from you, that demand crazy things from you. Yeah, for a lot of you, this is job related for sure. I feel like some of you are overworking yourselves because you have a lot of long-term goals. I think a lot of you are thinking about long-term, and you want to get to a certain point in your career where you're like, okay, when I get to this point in my career, then I'll be resting, and then I'll be off, and then I'll take time to heal myself. But your guides are saying, like, if you don't heal yourself now, you may never have the time to get to that point in your career or your job. You need to make sure that as soon as your body's giving you signals like you need to rest, as long as you're catching yourself not sleeping, as soon as you're catching yourself thinking to yourself, when was the last time that I sat down to relax? That's when you need to take a break. And again, I feel like this is the message that's coming through so clearly here from your guides. So I'm not giving out to you, it's your guides. It's definitely your guides. Your guides are like, you need to rest, damn. Oh my God. They're like, is this who we are? You're not meant to be somebody who works, for lack of a better word, hard or hardcore. You were never meant to be the person who stretches themselves beyond any limits. You were never meant to be the person that really has to put so much effort into working excruciatingly hard. Maybe this was instilled in you in childhood, that you had to just go above and beyond in order to get something very average. Like, I'm getting that you're very used to going above and beyond. Like, maybe you were always meant to have or you were always expected by your parents or something like that to bring back straight A's home. You know, straight A's, that's what they were expecting from you. And then when you did bring back, for some of you, this is definitely like generational curse almost. It's like when you brought straight A's home, it was like, okay, cool. Well, good job. But it wasn't ever kind of like, wow, you worked really hard for this, you should be really proud of yourself. It was always very average reaction. And so in your head, to get a good reaction or to get some sort of praise or to be seen as successful, in your head you're like, oh, I must go above and beyond in any sort of way. I need to be exceptional in order to be accepted. And so a lot of the time you're pushing yourself to this exceptional energy. But in reality, you're already exceptional. I feel like you're some type A's. I feel like this group is very you're high achievers in this group, and you find it very hard to allow yourself to rest and to allow yourself to take some time off and just stop and smell the roses. And I feel like your guys are like, you need to do this. You need to stop. Again, the Winter card, a period of soul searching and rest. I feel like you've been doing enough and you haven't been looking inward a lot. And observing your body, observing what your mind needs, observing what your soul needs. What do you need outside of your goals and outside of your kind of like high achieving personality? And again, there's nothing wrong with being a high achiever. A lot of people are expected to be high achievers, and it's something that's hard to let go of, but you don't always have to be achieving high every second of every day that you live. And so for some of you, it's really important that you, maybe some of you have a boss that expects like above and beyond kind of performance from you for like, I'm kind of getting, it's like, do you get paid enough for what you're doing? Do you get paid enough for the amount of work that you do? Some of you might be like on close to minimum wage doing work of 2 managers or something like that. And your guides are like, have you assessed, when was the last time that you assessed how much work you're doing and how much you're getting paid for it and how much it's actually paying back to you? For some of you, maybe you're working harder rather than smarter, because somewhere along the line, especially if this is like you have a business or something like that, maybe you're putting yourself under too much pressure to get the business off the ground, and your guides are coming in and being like, you need some rest, because by resting, you'll be able to observe and to see and to actually distinguish where and what needs to be fixed in order for you to progress. Observing is just as important as acting, as creating. It's all very important. It all comes together. It all works in this kind of symbiotic way. But yeah, I feel like this is a very simple message overall. I really feel like most people in this group just need to give themselves permission to rest, to pause, and to observe. If you like this reading, do like, subscribe, and comment. I'd love to hear your feedback if you feel like it. Thank you for stopping by and hanging out with me, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!